Well, nutrition's a big part because anyone that's lost weight, you can't do it from working out. You lose weight by changing your diet or nutritional plan or whatever you want to call it. I don't like diet because it's always short term, but um, to lose weight, you have to eat healthier. Then from that, you work out to tone up your body so you look the way you want to look. So you need both, but the most important is 80% is nutrition, 20% is working out. So when you have the nutrition on point, your workouts will accentuate, but you can never outwork out your diet. And so when teaching people that process of, I mean, diet or nutrition is just a numbers game. When you find out how many calories your body burns every day, and you eat 500 calories less than that a day, in a week you've lost a pound of weight. And then if you're working out and you're burning more calories, but you're keeping your intake down, then you're going to burn weight or lose weight faster. I mean, it's just math. So once you figure out that formula, gaining weight, losing weight, whatever, isn't as scary as it sounds. You don't have to live on rabbit food and, do all these power shakes and take fat burner pills and that kind of jazz. You just got to focus on the numbers, apply it to every single day, be consistent with it, and then your body starts to be, regular. I'm not going to be gross, but like going to number one and number two, you lose weight by going to the bathroom.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if you are not doing that, anyone that's listening to this, if you're not going to the bathroom at least twice a day for number two, and at least peeing at least 2 or 3 times a day, you're not pushing the toxins and fat out of your body, so it stores up and builds up bacteria and everything else, and it's not good. So that's just food for thought. See where you are. I mean, you don't have to tell me, but just see where you are, and that'll help out with how healthy you are.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll get 1,000 comments below. Hey, I took a dump twice today. Woo!
Best day ever.
Yeah, yeah. I have a running joke. I have a number of clients who are in the baby boomer generation, and we always joke that we always know how much older we're getting. It's all in when the conversation turns to bowel movements. It's like if it's the first thing out of your mouth, you're about 85 years old. It's like you ever call a grandma and find out what the first thing she says to you, and normally it's, well, I was pretty regular today. So anyway, enough about that. But no, it's so interesting because I went through my own weight loss journey as the viewers have heard before, and that was one of the things that they were always really concerned about. They said, look, you depending on what plan you're on, depending on what you're doing, we understand you're trying to lose weight, but if you find that things aren't just moving right, then you're maybe not taking enough fat in, which is so counterintuitive to losing weight. I mean, I know there's a paleo diet. I know there's 1,000 different ways to do it, but a lot of people think that hey, this is great. My body's just processing everything, and it's like, well, yeah, it could be to a point, but anyway, you're the expert in this. I'm
But,
just babbling at this point. Go ahead.
well, be honest. You lost weight by changing your nutritional plan or by working out? Which
No, I
one?
mean that's the funny thing. Nobody believed it, but both times that I lost, I lost 100 pounds once and like 80 pounds the second time, and both times, and nobody believes it, but I did, I didn't work out a stitch, and it
Right.
was all about changing. It was all about changing the amount of food, and for me, and here's what I wanted to ask you and see if you found this with your clients as well. For me, it was all about almost regardless, not regardless of the calories, because calories are an important measure, but it was about having that right mix of salty and sweet and fat and carb and the right mix of food to allow my body to process the food right. Not necessarily, depriving and going always completely fat free, or always completely sodium free, or always completely carb free. I mean, what have you found when it comes to nutrition with your clients?
Well, I mean, the scariest thing about fat-free is things are supposed to have fat in it. Your body needs fat to be able to break down carbohydrates, proteins, and all that kind of jazz. It uses it for energy. Because when you don't have fat, then it starts eating your muscles, and then your heart is a muscle. Things start to shut down. I mean, it's serious. So, yes, people take in way too much fat, way too many carbs, things of that nature. But when you get a coach or read up more or whatever, you start to learn how your body uses all of those. I have carbs in my diet, I have fat in my diet, I have fruits, I have lots of veggies, and I have protein. and a shit ton of water. Like
Yeah.
water, 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 um, water. Um, so you have to have water because it keeps your body hydrated. I mean, you put gas in your car if you want to go somewhere.
Yeah.
You got to put water in your body if you want to do anything with it. Um, but I mean, the biggest thing with nutrition is just understanding that you do need all of them, and it's finding the balance of your basal metabolic rate, which is that number of how many calories you burn, finding out how many calories you're eating, and then exercise, like I said, helps, but it's not necessary as opposed to, in just the topic of losing weight.
Right. Now I heard that the figure I've always gone by is it is 10, yeah, 10 calories per pound. Like in other words, if you can't go and get tested for what your actual base metabolic rate is, your resting metabolic rate, I've always heard it's roughly about 10 calories per pound. So in other words, if you're a 200-pound man, that's kind of where they came up with the whole 2,000 calorie diet. So if
Yeah,
you're a 200-pound man and you want to lose a pound a week, you have to cut your diet down to 1,500 calories a day. And if you cut it down to 1,500
correct,
calories a day,
correct.
you'll end up losing quote unquote a pound a week. So see
But
folks,
just,
it's simple.
I mean, just Google the letters B as in basal, M as in metabolic, and R as in rate. BMR. If you Google that, you'll have there's formulas right there. You just plug in your height, your age, your weight, and your activity level, and it'll tell you what your number is. And it'll tell you how many calories to lose weight. And then you can go online and find diet plans for that weight, calorie count, all that kind of jazz. You just have to be open to what I tell everyone is like eating green vegetables and changing the carbs that you eat. Like the three carbs that you want to focus is sweet potatoes, brown rice, quinoa, I guess, and oatmeal. I mean, those are the only carbs that I really eat. Uh, Protein is a whole wide gambit, but green veggies, if you eat green vegetables at night, your body will have enough vitamins and minerals to burn fat while you sleep. So if you're looking to lose weight, eating green vegetables at night is your body burns fat when it's sleeping. That's when your body is recuperating, catching up, and everything like that. That's the way the cycle works is as you intake oxygen and convert it to CO2, that's how your body burns fat, and you do the most of that either while exercising or while sleeping. So if you do exercise a lot and sleep a lot, that's why they say you got to get 7 to 8 hours a night of sleep because that's in order to lose weight. That's what you need to be doing. If you go less than that, you're not giving your body enough time to be burning fat.
Wow, that's amazing. And it's funny because you talk about green veggies, and I know a lot of people, kind of cringe when they hear that. I tell you, one of the things that I did is I love chicken and broccoli, and I got kind of on that kick when I was when I lost my weight the last time. But I just love throwing a nice 4 to 8 ounce piece of chicken in a pan, boneless, skinless chicken in a pan, throwing a half a bag of broccoli, all around it, and that ends up being a huge meal. I mean, when you're talking about 8 ounces of 4 to 8 ounces of protein and pretty much 5 servings of broccoli, but if you look at the calories, it's like 400 calories, and
Right.
it's something that and you feel full until like the next day, until the next day doing it. And the other thing that I do, just real quick, like I said, you're the expert, but just to kind of give folks one of my tricks is, I'll get Costco sells this no salt organic seasoning, and it's all like oregano and parsley and black pepper and all this other stuff, but there's no salt at all in it. So find something that enhances the taste without adding a whole bunch of sodium, and um, it's a lot easier to enjoy things like green vegetables and lean protein than it is just merely to just have to take it in. Because would you agree, Jeff, that we can tell people, and you can tell people and coach people all you want on getting great nutrition, if they're acting like a kid eating Brussels sprouts, it's not going to last and be a lifestyle change where they have to figure out how to make it their own, so to speak.
Right. And, when talking of nutrition, I eat healthy food because I like the way I look. I know by eating these vegetables, I'm going to be able to keep my abs, I'm going to keep my muscles strong, that kind of jazz. And when you have that transition, that not vanity, but self-awareness and confidence, your whole mindset changes. When you're like, oh, I'm never going to be able to have cake again and this and that. You can, because once you're eating healthy, your body's pushing that out. I'll eat bad every once in a while, have ice cream or eat a row of Oreo cookies or whatever. But I know, even Taco Bell late night, but I know the next morning my body's going to push it out because it knows it's getting healthy food in immediately. So the more you train your body in with the good and out with the bad, even when you eat bad, it'll flush it out.
Right. And I think it's an interesting segue right into knowledge of a plan. Because whether it's whether it's a plan of working out or whether it's a plan of eating, it all comes back to creating a plan and having a knowledge of that and teaching your body what that plan's all about. Am I on base there or off base?
To watch the rest of this epic episode now, click on the link below the video. Do it now. You'll be glad you did. Are you still here? What are you waiting for? Watch the rest of this epic episode now by clicking on the link below the video.